Hi, my name is Laura, and I have 6 Pilates exercises for you to increase your strength and feel more flexible. So, no matter where you are in your fitness journey and your exercise routine, these are 6 exercises that you can use at any time to start increasing your mobility and your core strength. So, we're going to go through each one as a beginner, as a fundamental exercise. And in my next video, then you'll see how to advance those as you get stronger. So we're going to start with the Pilates warm-up that's known as the 100. And in this exercise called the 100, you will go through a cycle of breath with 5 counts to inhale and 5 counts to exhale. And you'll do that 10 times. So 10 times 10, 100. And there's a lot of variations for the 100. And to start, you can do it flat on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the floor. And your head and shoulders are down on the mat. So when you're here, let's do something really quickly to see where your body lands when you're lying flat. We have 3 positions of our spine here. We have its normal, neutral, long position, which has some natural curves in it. And with our natural curves, we might have a little space under our low back, have space here under our neck, and we might be we're a little curved and lifted here around our ribs and our mid back. And then our tailbone, right there, right where the legs separate into the buttocks, right there, that part is heavy on the mat. So that is your natural spine. When we imprint the spine, we put the belly button down, tuck the tailbone, and flatten our whole back. We call this an imprint. It's also the beginning of what we call a C curve. And we're making a C from our tailbone up to the top of our spine. So here's your imprint. And then the other position of the spine would be an extension. And this would be if we're really lifted up and we're hyperextended, our chest is up. This doesn't actually feel all that great, but if you're standing up, you might stand up and stretch and you feel that extension. So we're going to lower the ribs. So feel our ribs here on the mat, little neutral spine right here, and heavy tailbone. And that is our long neutral spine for hundreds. So if your back is tight and you're really feeling like this, if you have some low back tightness, you might really feel good to imprint and start to stretch this out. So you can do that here as well. And then that's a challenge to keep that belly button down. So you can choose one of those 2 positions for your hundreds. Your goal in the 100 is to keep that position the whole time. So pushing your feet into the mat, feeling nice and heavy, and your connection, your back to the mat. You're going to start to pulse your arms. And you're going to go up and down 5 times as you breathe in. 4, 5, and then you'll exhale. 4, 5, and we're going to do this 10 times. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And imagine you're splashing water. So you're really trying to use, your arms are vigorous. 4, 5, and exhale. I'm counting with my fingers. I'm counting mostly pretty well. It's hard to count and talk at the same time. There are 6 now. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, fill up with air. Exhale all the air out. Your arms might be getting tired. You might start to notice this in the waist. If you press your feet into the mat, you might feel it in the backs of your legs. Exhale all the air out. We're going to do one more cycle. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's your Pilates 100. Second exercise, 6 exercises everyone can do. The second is the single leg stretch. So Keep those hands nice and flat on the mat for the moment. I want you to press into the mat as you bring one leg up to a bent knee position. Really use your arms here. Like let your arms support you in your back. Yeah. Okay, so your legs are in tabletop. Now bring your fingertips right behind your knees. You're going to stretch one leg and then the other, and imagine that you're trying to poke a hole or put a little dot on the wall, and you're going to really finish it. You're going to touch that spot, and then you're going to touch that spot again, so the leg will stop. You're going to do this 10 times. For 10 and 9 and 8 and 7. Your head and neck are down. 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. And hug those knees in. That is your single leg stretch. Exercise number 3, double leg stretch. 2 choices here. You can hug your knees in and find your heels connected together, or you can bring your knees together and hug knees and ankles together at the same time. So honor your body, whatever feels right for you, and you can leave your head and neck down for this, and we'll learn how to progress that in the future. So when we stretch our legs and stretch our arms in opposite directions, we challenge all of our core strength to hold our limbs out in space. So the first thing, I want you to imagine just your arms. Arms go straight overhead. See, my ears are between my upper arms. Arms overhead, and then I bring my arms back down. The double leg stretch includes the legs. So the legs go out, and they come back in. And then we do them at the same time. So your arms and legs are together, and your arms will go overhead, and your legs will go straight out. Imagine you're trying to like a doorknob height of the legs. If you're in a room with the doorknob that's not too far away, you're going to be about doorknob height. So inhale, everything goes out. Exhale, bring it back in. You're going to do this. Let's do 8 more. Inhale up, exhale in. Inhale, extend, exhale to bend it all back in. Inhale, extend, exhale, bend it back in. 5 more. Inhale out, exhale back in. And 4. And 3. 2. And 1. And now hug your knees in. Now there's your double leg stretch. Your 3rd exercise. Now you're on to your 4th. We're going to do the Criss Cross. And this might sound also familiar if you've done calisthenics and done bicycles. Very similar exercise, but there's an important difference. Because often in a bicycle, we are kind of rotating our hips a little bit side to side. We want to keep these hips nice and level. So you're going to bring these legs back up in the air. And you're going to bring your hands behind your head. Press your head into your hands so that your hands aren't curling your head up. In fact, I want you to even keep it down on the mat here and feel the head pressing down and the hands pressing up, so you get a little engagement, a little tension, a little, tension's not the right word, but a little activation in the shoulders. All right, and then you're going to straighten one leg, twist to the opposite knee. So my left armpit is going for my right knee. I'm going to come back right through the middle, and the knees come together. And then I'm going to twist the other way and back through the middle. I'm almost thinking more about the arm that goes onto the floor than the one that's in the air. And back through the middle and twist and back through the middle. You give me 6 more like this. For 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1 and back down. There is your Pilates Criss Cross. Put the legs back down on the mat. Hug the knees together, hug the ankles together. We're going to our 5th exercise, the Pilates Bridge. So this is slightly modified from the traditional mat exercise in which we would bridge with our hands under our hips. We're going to keep our hips on the ground and our fingers straight and our wrists flat. And imagine you're pressing into the mat. You're feeling your arms be heavy on the mat. You might notice if your wrists tend to be tented up, see if you can keep those wrists long and straight. And find your feet nice and heavy on the mat. You've put them out, you've about hip distance apart. All right. So remember, we've got those 3 positions of our back and spine. So we want to tuck that tailbone again, imprint onto the mat, and then start to lift the hips. You're going to zip up this low belly like you're putting on a pair of jeans and lift up. Peel the hips up. And then roll it back down. Trying to put it down one bone at a time, all the way back down to the mat. And then imprint again. Tuck that tailbone. Put the belly button down to the mat. Lift the hips. And then roll back down. You might be feeling your hamstrings. So if your hamstrings are talking to you, engage that low belly first, and then imprint the spine, and then lift the hips. Squeeze the backside. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze to lift. And roll back down. 2 more like this. Imprint and lift. And roll back down. And last one. Imprint and lift. And roll back down. All right, rock your knees side to side. Maybe shake a leg out. One more variation of this is to lift up our hips without the imprint. So we're not going to flatten our spine. We're going to keep this little space under our low back. We're just going to lift our hips right up. We're going to do that 10 times. So keep your wrists flat, hands on the mat, shoulders are open, and upper arm bones. You almost feel your upper arms at the top of the mat. And then just press your hips up. Here we go for 10. And 9. Keep your eyes, it's tempting to want to look at your, watch your knees. Look at your ceiling. And 6. And 5. And 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Whew. All right, give yourself a little stretch here. You're going to roll yourself up into a ball for your 6th exercise here. It's actually a combo exercise. It's actually 2 more exercises, but we're going to treat them as one because we're going to do 2 different things. First, you're going to do a spine stretch forward. So you're sitting up nice and tall, and I'm going to sit sideways. So there's, if your hamstrings are tight, you might have a little gentle bend in your knee. That's totally fine. You might even put your feet flat on the floor. That works too. If your hamstrings are accommodating, then you can just straighten your legs in front of you. Now you don't want to be sitting back here, so try and sit up on top of your sits bones and sit up nice and tall. And now imagine you've got a wall like right behind you, and you've got to pull your spine away from that wall one bone at a time. And you will slowly, slowly stretch the spine away from that wall. So it doesn't look like much, but your belly button is going back, back, back. And your arms are going forward, forward, forward. And then you're going to reverse it by imagine you putting your back against that wall and sitting back up. This is a really great exercise, and my students get a lot more out of it working with a partner or working with a teacher, because we can really start to feel our own internal resistance as we reach, 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 reach. And then return to sitting up tall. Let's do that one more time. And then we're going to add a variation. And we're going to add the saw. Nod your chin and reach, reach, reach. Imagine you're sliding your arms across the table and you're reaching, reaching, reaching. Spine stretches. All right. Oh, that feels so good. And come back up. Okay. We're adding rotation of the spine. So we're going to stick our arms straight out in each direction. Again, if you were up against a wall, they would be on that wall as well. And now you're going to rotate. Think about the middle of your body here, just rotating towards one knee. And as you rotate, the arms move as well. And then you saw your hand to your toes. and push. Pulse it here down. 3, 2, 1. And come back up. And you'll rotate other direction and saw for 3, 2, 1. Still more spine stretch than hamstring stretch, although you may get both. I definitely do. And nod and reach, reach, reach. 3, 2, 1. And twist the other direction. Nod and reach. 3, 2, 1. I'll do one more each side. This is your 6 exercise. Nod and reach. 3, 2, 1. And one more. Inhale, twist. Exhale to saw. 3, 2, 1. And there you go. Okay. 6 exercises. Hundreds. Single leg stretch. Double leg stretch. Crisscross. Bridging. And your spine stretch and saw. It's really 7. But we just did 3 of each at the end. So you got a good little workout here. And this is something, you do these 6 exercises, any amount of them 100 times, you're going to feel different. Your body's going to feel different. You're going to get stronger. You're going to wake up some new muscles. You're using all 3 positions of the spine. You're in a neutral spine. You're imprinting it. You're starting to extend it a little bit. You're starting to use your legs. You're starting to use your glutes. You're relaxing your shoulders down your back. All of these things are part of what makes Pilates a unique system of exercises that work together to make you stronger. If you have questions for me, just drop me a comment or send me an email, or find me on Instagram and send me a message. I'd be happy to talk with you more about Pilates. Thank you so much.